of top lane power. It's also kind of a double whammy against Zero. I don't know why WE are focusing so hard into Bard and Trundle.
Yeah, I find it a little bit strange.
I mean, you, I think, has really been exposed as a weak point for LGD.
And I feel like Bard still, you know, isn't necessarily where he's going to find any of his power. But WE, looking at their final ban, we'll see what is going to be taken away. Of course, Swain option, that is going to be it. They get rid of it. So, Azir, Ryze, Vladimir, Lucian. All of those picks still available.
Pick your poison, LGD. What do you give?
Exactly right. Might just be a throwaway ban here, honestly. So Lucian is actually going to be the one that is thrown out. Ryze, definitely an option. Does leave the Vladimir once again available for LGD. And an Azir, all sorts of things.
Curious what LGD will make of their second rotation. We've seen xiye take Ryze into the mid lane, and 957 have back-to-back Lissandra games. See if they mix any of that up. I don't think we're about to see a Hecarim.
I don't think so either. Although Eimy did switch his summoner spells.
He's ready.
Yeah. Champing at the bit, one could say.
Eimy on your screen right now. Obviously having a pretty intense discussion with Hart.
Yeah, cycling through, looking for their options here is Braum. Fairly consistent consideration for the most part, as Vladimir is going to be what he switches to, and that makes a heck of a lot more sense, as that's going to be locked in. Braum as well picked up here for LGD. It's now WE to work out their next round. What is going to be picked up here? Condi can grab a jungler if he wants to. Of course, Nidalee's still available, but probably not going to go towards that. Can pick away the Elise.
I was going to say, I think we might have a fight for the Elise. Graves also available and an option.
All right. Condi going back to something that did work in the previous series that they played earlier on. Mystic not going to be able to play his Lucian, which did dominatingly well in that first game.
Ooh, Zero's getting serious though, taking the Thresh. Obviously having a range advantage over Braum means that you have a superior 2v2.
Not to mention the fact that Zero was known for his Thresh play. Also known for building very interesting items on it.
We're not going to talk about it.
We're just going to move on from that. Yep. That's fine. Okay, LGD. Now with their second round, we'll see what they are going to pick up. As Punished already has that Vladimir. What do you expect? Something like an AD carry and a jungler.
They've pretty much hid their composition, both teams on either side so far.
Yeah, not really committing anything, right?
Sivir still available. I think that's why either team is very cautious of picking it early, just because Imp showed how potent and powerful the Vayne counter matchup is. Yeah, giving him the final pick.
Yeah, so everything going to be very open to Imp and what he wants to take into this. See what Mystic decides to do. Ezreal is, of course, his fallback. He's hovering it for the moment. And Lissandra is there as well. So, WE, very similar comp to what they used in the first game. Now with a little bit more AoE available to it if they do decide to lock in the Ezreal.
I cannot believe they're tunneling so hard into this Lissandra pick.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Ezreal's locked in for Mystic. Yet another champion that Imp does like to pick the Vayne into. And that's what the comp's going to be. So, Ryze, Lissandra, as well as Condi back on the Graves. We'll see whether he can have another dominating performance on it. Of course, does just feel more comfortable on that pickup.
I just don't like Lissandra in the top lane versus the mid lane when Graves is in the game.
Yeah.
You have so much kill pressure. I don't know. We'll see. They executed well on it last time in game 1, but they actually literally brought Lissandra down from the top lane to use her strength in the mid lane with a gank.
Well, this time, of course, they still do have a fair bit of wave clear in the Vladimir and Ekko as well, but looking to pick up a Sivir to augment that even further.
It's to help Vladimir. So like Ryze, Vladimir doesn't have a lot of mobility, which is why he builds that belt.
Yep, dash cannon.
Sivir will work really well in tandem with him by allowing him more flanking opportunities to get his Hemoplague across 5 members.
Well, that is exactly what is going to happen as Imp has locked away the Sivir. So Sivir Braum going to be the bottom side of the map as MaRin once again heading in on the Ekko. And Eimy on a champion that he's shown proficiency on so far this series in the Elise. And LGD, I have a feeling like this is a tried and true theory moving into this game. And it's have Punish be a rock that is immovable and get Eimy around. Make sure he can gank some lanes, get Imp ahead potentially, get MaRin ahead. We'll see whether they can make it work.
Also empowering their 5v5, in particular Imp, quite a bit again. This time around on an AoE scale as opposed to single target damage. So trading away from that Vayne into a Sivir. This is again a comp made to make Imp shine.
And Imp has always been an incredibly impressive Sivir player. Has actually played Sivir as well. So it was against Vici earlier on. But LGD, now it's do or die. They really need to find a win at some point. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be feeling pretty bad being in the LGD camp. And this is their opportunity. They have a good comp. WE going to be taking what they won with in game number 1 into it. We'll see whether that Vladimir pick is exactly what's going to be able to make it work as we hop onto the Rift. Thank you very much, MaRin, and we are onto the Rift for game number 3 between WE and LGD. LGD fighting to find their first victory in the LPL for the summer split. Wanting to...
Power?
Yeah, lands the Winter's Bite as well. Mystic, he's an explorer though. Able to get the work done. Moves out of the way. Good.
So I wanted to touch on both these compositions. Team WE, I have a feeling we're in for a long one. They have quite a... bridge composition set up, so their early game is going to be entirely reliant on Condi with this Graves pick. Their mid-game power spike then comes through Lissandra and Ezreal, and then like a baton, they hand it off late game to xiye and Ryze, which tells me that they're looking for that late game. It's going to be probably another 45, 55-minute slugfest if they get their way.
Damn right, but look at the aggressiveness of these Keystone Masteries. Imp decides to go for the fervor of battle, as well as MaRin. As both of them don't really care about, you know, Grasp of the Undying, Warlord's Bloodlust. Nah, it's not about sustain. It's about being able to more effectively kill people.
And that's how effective LGD are in their lane phase and where they've actually found their win condition. They truly are a win lane, win game style of team right now until they can get their synergy working for them. But we will have another initiated lane swap. They performed well in it last time. Again, isolating the Vladimir matchup is the important aspect.
Well, is it going to be the same isolating it against the Ryze? We now have 2 consistently banned champions being picked up in the mid lane. We'll see whether xiye is going to have a better time with it this time. But honestly, I wasn't all that impressed by the Ryze out of xiye in game number 1. See whether he can turn it on its head this time around.
Naturally, a lot of teams prioritize Ryze, however, just because he's so tanky, so much CC, so much burst, so much power.
So much consistent damage. Just pretty silly. Condi, though, it's going to get joined by 957 as Yu gets a Thunderlord's proc to the face. Nice work, 957, as he wanders back towards the top side of the map and won't really care too much about losing his health bar. Punish just continuing to shove the wave forward. This time, xiye, though, feeling more comfortable.
LGD used to do this a lot when they had Twin as their jungler. Obviously, it was a very different roster back then, but they had one of the best manufactured lane swaps. But they did it entirely not to isolate a mid lane matchup based on a champion, but to hide their jungler.
Yeah.
And we saw that it worked to great effect. Obviously, it carried LGD all the way to Worlds with Twin as their jungler, who wasn't performing very well in that split. But it could work in a very similar vein for Eimy here.
But it's exactly why they replaced him. It was to never have to do that again, Froscarin. Eimy just got to step up.
I think Twin got the last laugh.
He did. He did. And probably is still having it in the LSPL.
Performed well on OMG.
Yeah. And he left on his own accord, if I remember.
Yep. Went on to bigger and greater things.
Or smaller and less public things. As Eimy is going to take down the Gromp here towards the top side of the map. Tower going to fall first for WE on the bottom side. We'll see whether they transition into the Dragon. Looks like no is going to be the answer to that, as it is just a Cloud Drake. And Imp is going to head back to base.
So we're already starting to see some habits formed from teams. Their priority around the Dragon and how early they rotate into it depending on what it is.
Yeah.
I think the answer has been that Cloud Drake is not very important to LPL teams.
No one really cares. Yeah, that's exactly right. So ignored entirely.
We saw that in the LGD Gaming game where they literally didn't take a single dragon.
Yeah, I think there were 2 dragons taken that game. They were both Cloud Drakes, and then no one cared about the Elder. They were like, well, this is pointless.
You still get battle stats.
True. Imp with a nice spell shield there. 957. Unable to lock him down. Throws out the claw after getting a little bit more damage on the creeps. Like it. You can see Imp 5 CS ahead of his opponent in Mystic, but on different sides of the map. Just looking to rinse and repeat.
Should be noted, though, that initially 957 has a CS lead over MaRin. However, MaRin is waiting for a big buildup of Mystic's wave to crash into him. So not as distant as it might seem.
Yeah, lots of members of WE moving up, yeah. It's actually dying, and MaRin's heading back to base. So, Mystic just going to be able to shove even more creeps into this turret, and 957 going to keep his lead.
See what they're able to do with that is now both top laners are rotating back to their duo lanes, and we're continuing to open up the side lanes. Previously, before, the twist on these lane swaps was a gank on the mid lane. See who's going to get the jump on that.
Of course, xiye with Pinkwood towards the upper side, meaning that he is going to be chilling out a little bit closer to the top side of the map. You can see just throwing down the ultimate as soon as it comes available at level 6.
LGD, though, threatened the gank on the mid lane initially with MaRin, so the same type of mentality still carrying over from last game into this one.
Oh, and LGD bite the bullet. They say, well, someone's going to have to get us to the next dragon. May as well be us. The xiye going to teleport back into the mid lane, and WE going to send a whole bunch of people over here. And looking to possibly threaten this dragon as well. Spidey senses were tingling. They grab the ward and they say, no one's killing Cloud Drakes. Just not doing it. Not this game.
The course of action was Ryze has teleported to the mid lane. We have a window of opportunity where we can't take the Rift Herald. It's too strong at this point. We don't necessarily care about the dragon because it's Cloud Drake. Let's gank mid. Good reaction from Vladimir by burning Ghost to get him to safety. Might as well check dragon anyway.
Yep.
As opposed to race to Cloud Dragon.
And
we
deny
can't
it.
let them have it.
And then not do anything. Perfect. Well, it is a very early Sightstone one more time here for Eimy. That Chilling Smite available as well. But 10 CS ahead is Condi, who's been ripping through the jungle. Probably looking to go back and finish Warrior relatively soon. As you can see, it's actually Condi and Zero hanging out together. The Thresh and Graves, best buddies right now. Early Lucidity's rushed from 957. A little bit more mobility. Condi will find his arch nemesis in the pink ward, which is immediately replaced. Adorable. I like it a lot.
It's more so either junglers are playing to their strong side of the map where their duo is and trading buffs. So we do have a bit of vertical jungling happening right here for second rotation of blue. xiye picking up his, and it's actually going to be Eimy. Unless Punish wants to mosey over, that's going to take this one.
Well, Punish definitely doesn't want to mosey over. He's underneath his turret right now as Imp and you have found themselves an inner.
And LGD do get the heads up on this one. Their wave crashing first. It's also a cannon creep wave. True Shot Barrage being fired across map to try to thin this one out, but a lot of chip damage being lost.
Yeah, and Imp is going to shove another wave into this turret as well. But you can see WE, they've got an Essence Flux, they got a Graves, and they got 4 people underneath this turret. 957 not level 6 yet. In fact, only level 4 is the top laner, but they'll very quickly take down this inner turret. Parallel Convergence coming in. There's the hook. MaRin actually going to be able to grab himself a shield. You can see lots of damage available from WE, and they pressure them away from this inner turret.
And like you said, initially it is traded 1-for-1 there, but the initial wave by LGD is then met by an even bigger wave from Team WE, a bit more preparation set up into it, but the same outcome.
Does mean, though, that this mid lane exactly is isolated and Punished not looking nearly as comfortable in the Ryze versus Vladimir matchup, which is just a little bit silly. LGD now going to grab themselves the Rift Herald. As you can see, Eimy might grab it. Of course, Imp there as well. We'll see who wants to be able to pick this one up. Maybe Imp getting a little bit more solo defensive statistics could avoid him getting caught out. But look, it's going to be the Elise. Picks that one up.
No, it makes sense. We've seen this a lot, not just in the LPL, but pretty much globally. It either goes to the top laner or it goes to the jungler.
I've been seeing more junglers picking it up recently.
Well, it makes sense. We have skirmishing and dueling junglers that are taking a priority. They're going to get a lot of it out of it as well.
Yeah, I like it.
The top laners are still so far behind that they can't make the most out of it. I mean, if this was standard lanes, you might see more of a priority towards the top lane, but because it's a lane swap, and it's now about trying to get as much farm back onto these carries as possible.
Oh, 957. Nice heads-up play, though. He's just going to play very far back. You and Eimy are going to be backing away in the end. There are pings going out. 957 just really wants to get an experience range. Wants level 6 as quickly as he possibly can. Zero as well. I mean, he's only level 4. You at the same point. But MaRin has hit that level 6. Possible like level advantage here for LGD. Could make some sort of play somewhere.
Also checking in on how this Ryze and Vladimir lane went, because LGD went to such great lengths to get the isolated matchup. xiye's done wonderfully here.
Yeah.
Obviously does have the teleport, so giving him a lot more security and safety 1v1 in the lane since no one else will bother him. Does have a Roa completed about 5 minutes early, as well as a tier.
10-minute Roa, that is very impressive.
You usually average around 15 minutes, so incredibly impressive from xiye, as well as the CS lead. In fact, he's almost on perfect time for CS.
Looking like a very different Ryze player. He was playing with reckless abandon in game number 1 on the champion, but this time looking immaculate in that mid lane. Was able to wander back to the mid lane at the same time, so Punished wasn't able to shove that wave in completely as he grabs his dash cannon on his way back home.
But this is classic Team WE. We now have a position where Ezreal is being allocated all of the side lane farm.
Yeah.
And he's just going to sit out there until he's ready with his 2 items, which means that for the next few minutes, Team WE are fine keeping everything as they are.
Just chilling. And Condi will make sure the jungle is as empty as possible, as he is wont to do. Krogs are going to be the next ones to fall down, as 957 has hit that level 6 mark. And LGD getting a bit of a shove on here in the mid lane. Zero, he's hanging out, but xiye still looking to find his way back through.
And this is what teams should do. I've always questioned, how are Team WE able to consistently get to a late game point? They should be punished much earlier by proactive play. LG are doing a good job trying to be proactive on the map, taking and challenging these dragons, consolidating resources mid, trying to get chip damage there. Unfortunately, it is a cloud dragon, so it's not going to have the same snowball effect as a mountain, ocean, or infernal drake. But the same thought is there. I want to see them push it a little bit harder, though. Look for not a crazy play, but a very calculated, aggressive play on this Ryze, or possibly on Lissandra.
Well, Cloud Drake is going to fall down. Next one is going to be the Mountain Drake. Possibly a little bit more of an important one, you could say, as WE. Whoa, Imp just explodes! xiye grabs first blood out of nowhere, as the Sivir just didn't look like she had a health bar.
Okay, I said calculated. Calculated aggressive play. Not careless.
Yeah, I would say so too, as xiye a little bit underestimated, one could say, as MaRin is actually going to grab a nice double stun. xiye going to get immediately destroyed. Eimy locks down the kill. Frozen Tomb right up amongst it, though, as 957's getting some work done. You very low. Punished also. Flashing red. But it's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. True shot barrage! Oh, the flash out of you.
Much better. That's what I was looking for, and that's what I was hoping for LGD fans. Unfortunately, a little too late. It means that they can't translate any sort of that pressure or advantage into taking towers or sieging any other objective. But again, The mentality exists. Don't let Team WE do this. A lot of teams just see them go into passive farm mode and for whatever reason think, okay, that's fine. I'll meet you late game anyway, despite Team WE's consistent record in the late game for winning. Just challenge them. Force them to be reactive.
Well, there's the flash. Out of 957, MaRin got there at the right time, and he is 20 CS ahead. Scary times for the Lissandra player.
But the same CS discrepancy has also been built up between the AD carries in favor of Mystic. Again, he's going to continue to sit here until he has that Iceborne and Muramon already.
Just stacking up that tier at the same time. Things getting better and better.
And he's not pressured at all simply because of the 2 Cloud Dragon spawns. So that's been a 12-minute window where totally fine.
Yeah, precisely. xiye as well. Catching punished out of position. Not a whole lot that Vladimir can do right now against the Ryze. He's able to lock him down constantly. And eking towards a 40 CS advantage as well for the Ryze. xiye having a much better time this game. Most certainly not a Kassadin.
So everything's going according to plan for Team WE. Checking back on LGD, though, I'm expecting that we're about to come across one of those crazy LGD plays that they like to pull. Which is when you actually step back and look at Team WE and LGD. Yes, it's kind of like second place versus one of the last place teams currently, but stylistically, LGD are actually well equipped to deal with Team WE, to kind of throw them that curveball where suddenly there's just 5 people in your lane.
And they did it last game. Made it look easy at the same time. But Imp no longer on sort of that solo playmaker in the vein. Now on the Sivir, more of that team player. Looking at MaRin here, definitely, though, because the Ekko play that we've seen over the last 2 games has been very, very powerful.
I mean, he's still in World's MVP form in terms of his mechanical performance.
Oh, yeah.
He just doesn't have a World's MVP team behind him.
He does have a pink ward behind him, though, and that has been sitting in that brush for a very long time. Well, the 957, I believe, may have almost checked, but didn't.
So
Imp
close.
picks up some mana.
Yet so far.
Yeah.
Iceborne Gauntlet is complete for Ezreal, so very close. Has his pickaxe as well as the stacking tier.
Yeah, it's only the combined cost to go now as xiye nabbing some cute little Qs.
It's going to be
with the wave clear.
Go time for Team WE come this Mountain Dragon spawn. I have a feeling that's when we're actually going to get our 5v5.
Yeah.
And then it's all on Punished and Imp to make sure that they can overlap their damage correctly.
But in goes Zero. He's going to bring Mystic into the mid lane here as well. They're looking to try and just siege this one down if they can. Spell Shield is there for the Sivir. They've got a lot of wave clear in this LGD squad. WE cannot hang around.
And Team WE have control of both side lanes. It's now pushing back towards Team WE, but they had reset it halfway on the map. Likewise, the bottom wave was pushing in, which is what Imp's responding to now. So I like the fact that both our waves are too far forward. It's unsafe to be over here. Let's try to see what we can get done mid, and maybe we can beat LGD on a rotation. And they do take the tower to about half.
Yeah, they did well. But it is going to be the Manamune completed here for Mystic. So the 2-item spike well and truly there now for the Ezreal. Not to mention the fact that that tier is well and truly stacking for xiye. He's got his Rod of Ages to about 6 stacks. I mean, the lull that you get from picking up these tier items is basically non-existent at this stage. WE probably looking for that fight around, like you said, the dragon that's up in 1 minute's time.
It's 50 seconds, probably about 20 seconds. Everyone should take their backs here because it takes about 30 seconds to walk from the base to the dragon, buy their pink wards, and start setting up for this objective. I expect that's what LGD is doing now. We've got 1 pink ward. Eimy, come on. Where's your pink ward?
There it is.
He bought
Very
a pink
nice.
ward and a
Ooh.
sweeper.
Yeah, Pool's going to come out from Punish here in the mid lane as xiye just mounting the pressure. He blew his ultimate, though. Oh, wait, hang on. I think that'll be up in the next 2 seconds.
But we don't necessarily have a back out of xiye yet. He's actually sitting on quite a bit of gold, does have teleport available for him, so he could stagger and look for a counterplay. But he's still only sitting on that 1 item, again, the very early Roa.
Yeah. Another round of ultimate here as well as he just shoves that wave into Imp. And WE with the positional advantage around this dragon. LGD are setting up for it. They are coming in, but WE have started it off already.
And they're going to do this with half a mana bar on their Ryze as well as a major back
Whoa!
mist.
Nice work. Dodges out of the way of the cocoon there, but has to take a lantern. The box comes in. MaRin going to immediately get hooked. Might have to ultimate his way out. Is going to do so and makes it back to the top lane. Now a 4v5 situation as Imp gets exhausted. The flash comes in, able to get Eimy out to safety, but Imp's just getting destroyed. xiye locks that one in. WE, this is the team fighting we're looking for in the mid game. And they lock down 3 members of LGD.
LGD unable to punish Team WE's game. We understood exactly what they were going to do. Stall this one out, get their itemization up and online. Come time for Mountain Drake, they pull the trigger. And LGD just watch it happen.
And MaRin, like, he did not want to have to ult in that fight because he needed to wait more than 4 seconds to stay there for his team. But just didn't happen. Just heads his way all the way across the map. And that's all of his relocation abilities used for basically the wrong reasons.
And that means that it will be the outer mid as well as the Mountain Dragon in favor from Team WE.
And
they're in full control.
Yeah,
and
that
check
is
out
such
what
a tempo
xiye is going to
play.
buy, because I'm just curious.
Yep. Whoop. Back home. That is the Archangel's staff already done from a tier.
And that was a power spike that he was missing in that team fight that they were already so dominant on. He's been sitting on that for a while. Again, they started that with half a mana pool from Ryze as well as a massive buy not executed on.
And he could afford a null magic mantle at the same time. That was at least 2,500 gold, something like that. Really, really brutal. So he's only more dangerous now with those 2 key items. Not a Seraph's Embrace just yet, so won't quite have the shield. But, I mean, horses for courses at this stage. Lucidity Boots done for Mystic as well, as he's going towards the coveted Blade of the Ruined King 3rd item.
So now what Team WE are going to do is they need to deep invade on LGD's red jungle and start setting up their triangle vision. Make the most out of their double teleport. So kick 957 bottom, which he is.
Kick him in the bottom.
Kick him in the bottom.
Got it.
Start setting up your waves mid and top, and then try to catch LGD as they're
Mystic.
cheating through deep vision that you have placed on their red. If you get a massive pick, translate that into Baron, or if your waves are set up correctly, start getting chip damage and push down one of these towers. So there goes the triangle vision. This is what they're doing now.
I like it. I like it. Staying with the plan. Staying with the plan.
This is the plan, guys.
Yep.
There we go. Create a little triangle. Theirs is a little lopsided, but you know, it's okay.
It's okay. Nailed it. Mystic's going to be able to steal away a red buff here as well. WE well aware of the fact they're in so much control. And Baron buff, they just got a Mountain Drake, you know. Like, Baron buff could be an opportunity here, but it's only 21 minutes.
It's 21 minutes. I mean, Team WE, again,
They stole a Raptor camp. It's go time. Get the Baron.
they're the card counters, okay? A couple more cards need to be played before they, can
deck
predict.
ain't hot yet. The deck isn't hot. It's fine.
Exactly. They're sitting back. They're okay. Oh, I think this one will be a king. That's the 3rd.
Good.
Just
I
need
think
to
we're
wait
at
a
about
bit more.
we're at about like a 15 or something like that, you know.
Exactly.
Still pretty good, but could be better.
But here we go. So now they pressure both of the waves. So little triangle vision, it's set up. Now they just continue to push the waves forward. It means that LGD will need to respond, and eventually LGD will mess up, and they will walk through that vision advantage that Team WE have. And that's when Team WE will look for a superior collapse having the vision, which is what they're doing now. They're like, did we get one? They're fishing.
Exactly right. Using xiye as the bait, who does like that, honestly, because he's xiye. If he's fighting, he's in a good mood. This Mystic back into the mid lane, does have his Mura Mana transform, as well as a red buff. So Punish probably doesn't want to go within Mystic shot range of Mystic currently. It's because we saw what happened before. It was not pretty.
The other thing that's happened here is because things like Imp and MaRin trying to make picks on xiye, they're splitting farm and experience between the Ekko and the Sivir, which is creating larger and larger CS gaps and gold gaps in between their respective carries. So 221 to 195 for the AD carry, for example. And it's those tiny little moments of MaRin, I think we can catch this guy, come up here.
Yeah.
As opposed to MaRin and Imp farming on their own accord.
Well, Scrying Orb is going to go down. Zero tanking a lot of damage from that Baron buff. Thankfully, xiye does have himself a shield from his passive. Keeps himself pretty healthy as the Baron is going to spit on him. Sonya's is completed here for 957. Item spikes. The Equinox done for 0. Hang on, that may not necessarily be what we're looking for, but he is actually able to go back to base, grab himself another pink ward. One available there for 957 as well. As we can see, more of Malmortius actually done here for Condi, so he's really strong after that back.
So there was a window of opportunity to do this play from Team WE. They didn't get everything out of it that they wanted to, so good job on LGD playing defensively correctly, not falling into Team WE's trap, protecting their tower as well. All they effectively lost in that Dragon window, so about 4 minutes, was just, again, the CS differences on their carries, because they were splitting farm and experience by being in the same wave. But they could have lost so much more. They could have given a pick over. They could have lost a tower. So good news for LGD fans. It does mean now that we're going to shift our focus back towards the bottom side of the map, and the triangle vision should be invaded into LGD's blue side now, which is what Team W are doing.
Yeah, of course, Dragon coming up in a minute 20. And 957 able to get a position around this blue buff. xiye says, it's mine. You are a top laner. Whereas I have a feeling
No,
if 957 was playing top lane Ryze and xiye was playing mid lane Lissandra, xiye would get that blue buff.
Don't you know? That's how that works. I
didn't know. Because I feel like, you know, never mind. He doesn't have any of the cooldown reduction. There is a lot of cooldown reduction available for 957. He's on 30%. A 0. Going to get cocooned for no reason. Lands the hook, though, as xiye able to utilize his movement speed from the ultimate. Gets another rune prison onto you. And that's a lot of damage available. The teleports to come in from 957. And LGD, health bars are low. We'll see whether they go towards this Baron.
Yeah, they are very keen to make a big play here. Should be noted, though, that LGD have 2 blue trinkets available, so they can check this. Imp is too far away, however.
Yeah, just managed to go back and get a BF sword for himself. There's another hook. The box comes in as you getting delivered. Everyone over the wall. They managed to get the pick. Eimy also has to move out of the way as now parallel convergence coming in. They're turning onto MaRin, but some split decisions from WE. Punished. Gets himself right in amongst it. Massive hemo play comes down. Imp, now's your time to shine as he's doing a whole host of damage. xiye running at him, trying to close the gap under the Sivir, and Punished able to get some work done onto 957. Sivir's able to take down xiye at the same time, and he's running for the hills. Mystic, he's still here. True Shot Barrage comes in, can't get it onto Imp, and Boomerang comes through, gets over the top, and it is going to be MaRin falling down. The bottom lane still alive for LGD. Condi survived somehow, but that went so much better for LGD than it should have.
Yeah, and it was really on the back of MaRin trying to put in his best effort. He actually got an excellent Ekko ultimate on top of a Hemo Plague that then set up Imp to start doing massive amounts of damage across multiple members of Team WE. But where MaRin was the hero for LGD, the one they needed but not the one they deserved, Mystic was the hero for Team WE and cleaned up excellently on the back half of that fight.
Massive amounts of damage here, and we mentioned the fact that he'd made it to that power spike that he was looking for. Condi has actually made it to a Dragon as well as he takes that one away. Very sneaky Infernal Drake, as you hate to see that, don't you? It's like LGD's like, yeah, we managed to get a Dragon. What was it? Cloud Drake. Oh, what did the opponents get? Mountain and Infernal. Oh.
Mountain Infernal.
Mountain.
It's fine.
It's nothing. It's just Mountain Infernal. It's not a very good Drake. So, not exactly the best news story here for LGD as far as Dragons are concerned. They bit the initial bullet, taking down the Cloud Drake, and since then have not had a look in that particular objective. And as we move into the later stages of the game, now currently about 27, that Infernal Drake is going to mean more and more. 8% AP and AD.
It doesn't actually mean a lot for Ezreal, though. Because he doesn't build...
flat AD.
Yeah, flat AD, or flat AP, I guess.
Yeah.
In fact, doesn't really mean a lot for majority of their members. Like, it still counts, obviously, but it means more for other champions. Someone like Ahri.
Yeah. And Ryze as well, I guess. He doesn't build flat AP, especially not when you're xiye.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, their items, they don't really have...
If he was Easy Hoon, on the other hand...
They're not the most
hell of a lot of AP.
Infernal Drake composition. How about that?
Yeah. No, that's good. They do have Condi, though, so they're going to at least have somebody else who's building damage. So that is a good news story. And you tanks a Mystic shot, and it does so much damage. It is silly. 304 for Mystic. You can tell that this is his comfort pick. Like, just feels so comfortable.
On Spawn's tier list of players who are allowed to play Ezreal, Mystic is on it.
Whoa! Zero looking like Tarzan as he heads over the wall.
Cheeky, though, that xiye didn't get to use the Lantern.
Yeah.
And said it was Condi.
Oh, well, you see, Zero just wanted to get in there. As MaRin's going to get caught out of position. That ultimate doesn't get him very far at all. As Rune Prison's going to come down. Frozen Tomb's going to be there just to ensure the kill. And WE Is that going to be enough of a pick in order to pick up a Baron? Not entirely sure whether it is.
Instead, they go ahead and return to their waves. We do have Punished trimming the top wave there, so the only option for Team WE is going to be this mid tower. See if M can hold it with the wave clear of Sivir.
Boomerang is going to fly through. You can see he is able to do a fairly good job as the Vladimir is going to make his way back down. Not losing too much here from MaRin falling, but WE actually just going to two-man this Baron. The Mountain Drake helping them out. Zero trying to grab himself a decent position as the hook. Oh no, it missed on the stationary target. That is a poor news story right now as the dash cannon comes in for Punish. My God, that Q gave him back about 1 billion health. And WE say, Zero, it's okay. No one saw it. We lost no one. We're fine. Let's go back home.
A bit of a blunder. It doesn't cost them too much, just his pride.
Wonderful.
That was hilarious.
That was beautiful. It's fine. It's like no harm, no foul.
Oh, TP. This is going to cause harm.
xiye trying to find his way in. We'll see whether the Rune Prison does get spell shielded. There it is. They wait for it. There's the flayback, and Imp is so damn dead. xiye is able to pick up that kill. And that is no AD carry for another 40 seconds.
And immediately 957 pulls the trigger on his TP. That's the go button they're looking for. Eimy, level 13 to level 14 in terms of the smite battle.
Oh, and look at this. Just finished Last Whisper for Mystic. Item buys are perfect for WE with the Void Staff coming in for 957. We've got 4 members currently here as Zero is hanging around, just making sure he can get the flays in the right spots. You and Eimy want to get over to the side. They want to try and find a steal. Eimy, this is your time to shine. Get in there, mate, as MaRin is going to get hooked and smacked around in that frozen tomb. They give up on the Baron as Condi right over the top here. Eimy still looking for it. Steals the Baron! Massive play. He's going to die. Like, super dead. But that doesn't matter as WE miss out on the big purple buff.
Eimy can hang his hat on that one. Stole Baron from the son of Baron, the Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
Condi, how does it feel?
Probably pretty bad, but I'm not Condi. Can't tell you exactly how it feels. We can see him, bottom left of our screen. There's a slight smirk. And he's like, well, we're still going to win, man. That's fine. Don't know whether they will, because this could be good stalling power.
Exactly, that's what it turns out to be. So unfortunately, Imp doesn't get the Baron buff, but it is on Punish, so you still have great wave clear and a couple of options there. And it just makes it that much more difficult to siege into LGD's base. Now, Team WE, they do have some pretty glaring available objectives on the map that aren't the base, including the outer, mid, and top tower. So I suspect that's what we'll be looking.
Well, we'll see what they can actually do here. As Condi and xiye. Oh! Who took it? Was it Condi? I don't know. It wasn't xiye. Condi's got one.
It's Condi. This is refreshed.
Yeah, because that was down on 4 health for a very long time.
The old misdirection.
Yeah. No one expected. This Punish is just tiding some blood all over these creeps.
LGD are trying to make use of this Baron buff and manipulate their side waves to keep Team WE running around the map as opposed to running into their base. That's what they're doing. So again, buying themselves some time, just trying to get closer and closer to those big item breakpoints. Should be noted that Imp's pretty strong.
Yeah, that guy, I was just about to talk about that, has certainly hit an item breakpoint the first time. He even has that QSS on top of that triple amount of items that is very, very strong in the hands of a Sivir.
So how confident are you, Team WE? You took it to late game. We're inching close to 32 minutes. We're about, what, 3 minutes off?
They've just got to chunk Imp out, though, because he's got no sustain at all from anywhere. So if they manage to do a bit of damage, it's going to be sticking, because this is a Furor battle Sivir. We have to remember.
Well, she's not really against a sustained damage comp. She's kind of against a wombo
not a lot
combo.
of poke there either.
Nukem comp.
Duke Nukem. WE, they want this dragon.
I think they want this fight.
They certainly do, as you can see, getting themselves into position. 957 right here. They're a 5-man stack versus a 5-man stack, and MaRin looking for the flanking play. Off to the side. The dragon, going lower and lower. And it's going to reset eventually. Boomerang not going to find anyone. As Mystic shots are being fired forward. And the dragon continuing to get held onto here by LGD, down below half health. Dragon, chill out, bro. You're supposed to have resetted by now. This is crazy.
This is pretty intense.
Yeah. Wow. Did not know the dragon could get leashed that far.
MaRin reset his position for the home guard TP play. He's now behind.
Yeah, he's actually able to make his way over the top of xiye. He's over the side as well. MaRin in trouble as immediately everyone turns on him. He's just going to die as the red team does manage to pick up the dragon. It is going to be LGD that grab it. Punished right in amongst the middle of the fight as 957's already helped remove the Ekko from the fight. Nice Zhonya's comes out from Punish as he dash cannons forward, but it's not enough to deal with Mystic. LGD, last remaining members on the bottom side of the map, but that's a 1 for 3, and this is WE possibly able to make their way into the base.
Good news, LGD got the dragon. Bad news, MaRin teleported in, flashed at someone, and immediately died. Worst news,
they'll lose their base.
Is probably going to be the inhib.
Well, that tower is not long for the world. Their own Mountain Drake helping them out there, as the inhibitor is the next one to fall down. Condi able to get a lot of damage over the top as well, and the rest of WE are going to move their way out. Baron buff, of course, has finished on the LGD members. Still waiting a few minutes before that comes available. And we'll see what WE decide to do next, as it looks like the top lane in a turret is going to be the option.
More free gold, reset our position. Baron timer should be up and available then, or I have a feeling we're going to have a quiet game until that big purple worm spawns again. So Eimy will have another moment to shine.
Yeah. Oh man, Lord Dominic's Regard also completed here for Mystic. 508 on the Ezreal. He is so strong. 13 out of the 15 kills he's participated in. And look, in their last victory, he was the one that managed to pick up the MVP. That Lucian play in game number 1 was beautiful. By all means, he got shut down in game number 2. He was getting preyed upon by Imp's Vayne, though. Mystic has just really stepped up.
No, he's really solidified himself. Like,
yeah.
I think it's fair to say that he is an A-tier AD carry in the LPL, which is a region that has that particular position stacked.
There's Defts, there's Imps, there's Uzis. And when you can say that you're able to stay up with the best of them, that is definitely a big deal, especially in this game.
I mean, he's had his back and forth with Imp. Not many people can say that.
In this game, he's come out ahead. Now just heading up the mid lane. Of course, that inhibitor has been taken down. They need to work on their waves, though. You can see WE still with a couple pushing towards them relatively. As xiye is going to head towards the bottom side. Teleports available on both solo laners out of WE. 0 available from LGD. They are playing full defense here. Not a lot of opportunity to create some plays.
What Team WE should be doing is they need to tend to their mid lane wave. They're only creating 2 points of pressure when they could have 3.
Yeah. Those are super creeps, I guess. We'll be pushing pretty quick, but you're right. For the moment, some breathing room for LGD.
Just could have been timed a little bit better with their cannon wave.
Yeah.
Now they're actually going to have to wait 2 waves.
Well, they have time to have a giggle, and that is definitely a good news story. Is Mystic getting some poke damage? It's actually decent here on to Punish off to the side, and if he can't Q anything, damage is actually going to stick. There's the teleport's going to come out. Yeah, 957 going to find his way in. MaRin doesn't have his TP. 957 barely has his health bar, but it does mean that they will be able to take down at least this inhibitor turret. And the super creeps have found their way in. That was pretty cute, but also pretty dangerous out of 957.
A little bit strange, too. You could have just used it by TPing onto a minion that's taking the tower. I mean, obviously you're using it to try to beat MaRin to the position, so you're threatening with a numbers advantage, but why not just conserve a creep?
Yeah. Look, maybe it's just...
The idea was good.
Yeah,
the execution
I have a feeling,
was weird.
Yeah, it was possibly to do with oops more than anything else, as the Baron is going to respawn. 1 second. There he is.
Come here, come here. He teleports to a ward next to him. Not what we meant.
That was close enough. Close enough. It's been a long night. Condi and Zero going to be able to eye off this Rift Scuttler. Vision Crab in the river. 957 is moving towards the Baron, and we'll see exactly whether WE are just going to start it straight off, which it looks like they're at least clearing out vision. But with an open inhibitor on the bottom side of the map, looks like they are just going to use their teleport in order to threaten taking that down, even with the likes of Ryze.
Left.
Yeah, it's a 6-item Ryze too, my god. Good luck.
Yep, just buying their time, being patient. That is going to be the last blue trinket available for LGD, so they have no other way to check this with long-range vision.
Mystic, he's so hungry to kill someone. Oh, there's the unbreakable. Hook comes in. Zero grabs him from across the wall. And I mean, they were at the point where they have to face check. Just can't do it. Timewinder, not going to find xiye on the way back. He's just killing an inhibitor. The rest of WE are taking down the Baron. 16 kills to 5. They've got close to a 10,000 gold lead. WE just looks like they're unstoppable right here. LGD unable to do anything. The Baron falls.
But this gold lead doesn't mean anything. So Punished is actually caught out. We'll see if Mystic
Dash Cannon
continues to go for it. But again, like this gold lead, it doesn't mean anything at this point in the game. Everyone has their items. They're beating LGD not because of their gold deficit, which is empowering a 5v5. They're beating them because they're smarter.
Whoa! xiye is going to die, though. So I hate that. You're a bit of a cast curse. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be xiye, let's be honest.
Still this idea that they're so patient. They have so much more map control. And they just sit and they wait. And they know that let's not push our luck. Eimy, please.
Oh, dear. Well, Eimy is definitely going to die. Condi picks up the kill. 7-0-4 for the jungler. He is huge. As Zero and Mystic, forever friends, looking for another pick here in the LGD jungle. LGD have none of it right now, as their inhibitors have respawned.
Well, there's no real reason for them to go there unless they want the Raptor camp that badly.
Yeah.
That's what they were. That was the bait, is the
that.
Raptor camp.
Yeah.
Here we go, Elder Drake.
That is going to be spawning two apiece for the Dragons, but Infernal and Mountain are both of the options here. So WE pretty happy with this pickup. Already down to half health, but LGD, they want to fight for this, and it's doing a lot of damage to Condi. In they go. Glacial Fissure comes through. Parallel Convergence doesn't find any stuns, as Yu's actually just going to get caught out. Mystic going to grab it. The teleport for the flank, as xiye is going to find his way in. Probably going to die as Condi just going to commit himself to destroying the Spider. Mystic is going to commit himself to destroying Ekko, and he's going to do so effectively. Eimy able to get himself back, and Mystic's legendary. What a beast on the Ezreal.
But LGD had the opportunity to look for an even 5v5, and they still fell short. Team WE are not winning this game simply because of their gold lead. They're winning this game because they're better at every single avenue. They play Fog of War better. They play around Vision better. Their 5v5s are beautiful to watch. They understand exactly when they're powerful, how to execute their different compositions. They're patient. That's probably the most dangerous thing about them, is that in the LPL we have a patient team.
Yeah. But not now, Froscarin. It is 42 minutes into this game. We are well past WE being patient. And they are now just destroying inhibitors. The Elder Drake buff right on top. MaRin yet to respawn, but that is two inhibitors in swift succession. Creep waves heading towards LGD's base. WE looking to try and tighten the noose around this LGD team that played so well in game number 2. Fought back so hard, but are right now looking like they're completely out of options.
Just smothering LGD, as it's going to be a triple inhib takedown, and the base is now being flooded.
In shambles at this stage. Mystic, aggressive arcane shift as he heads in, but you can see the wave clear out of this LGD comp. Feels good, but is it going to continue to feel good as there are super creeps starting to enter the fray?
This is your one fight, LGD.
Bit of a split here from WE, honestly, but Condi now has a Bloodthirster, so honestly, he's not too worried about taking poke damage. Nice Mystic shot comes out of Mystic there. The super creeps are making their way forward. Nice unbreakable comes out from you. As xiye, you have to be so careful. On the hunt has been popped. The ultimate comes through. You looking for more. Parallel convergence in amongst it. Mystic. Sorry, no. Imp able to take down one kill already. 957 has fallen. Zero's going to die. LGD. Are they doing it? Mystic still alive. But he's possibly going to be the last one. xiye over the top there. Imp is full health as he throws down the spell shield. And WE... Come on, guys. We're calling you patient. We're calling you smart. Please play like that.
It's the caster curse. No, a lot of respect given to LGD. Team WE, again, trying to smother the base as opposed to just running it down. But Mystic
still once more nails the Mystic shot. MaRin has to be so careful.
And it was poor positioning by Team WE's carries in that initial fight. Xiye and Mystic not able to follow up on a lot of the damage, so see how cautious Team W are going to continue to be, if they're going to attempt to siege the base again, or if it's going to be them sieging Baron.
Last fight looking good for Mystic one more time. This guy's Ezreal is beastly. Not much of a Baron power play, but as you mentioned, gold means basically nothing. It's all about controlling the map, making sure you can get as much as you can. But I mean, look, in these last fights, I mean,
Miracles
LGD just
happen.
wins one. Like, LGD wins one fight.
Exactly.
And then they leave someone to clear out super creeps and go and win the game.
We had a conversation internally in the office when we were preparing for this game, this idea that we know that Team WE, they have so much confidence, it comes down to that one late game decision, and they hit you hard and you never get back up.
Yep.
But the miracle plays out of LGD.
I mean, if any team's going to do it, it's going to be this one. Like, let's be honest.
This is a coin flip.
Well, 45 minutes. This game is well and truly late. WE have gathered themselves, and they're moving back in. Try and take down LGD. Baron is going to be up in 50 seconds. We'll see whether they actually turn out of the base. Try and pick that up, because they're now just trying to follow these super creeps onto the Nexus turrets, which are getting taken down very, very low. Nice crits to flood over these creeps, as Imp is decorating this screen with numbers. And super creeps piling in by the numbers. xiye, very far up. Does have a xiye, actually.
Oh, xiye.
Yeah, caught out of position one more time. There's he on the hunt. Punished right in amongst it. Mystic gets caught immediately. Able to use that QSS to keep himself safe, but MaRin's right on top of him. Eimy there as well. Gets over the wall. Kills Eimy. LGD still fighting things out, though, as the xiye has been popped. Very, very low, but 957's able to get through there. Mystic off to the side. He's playing like such a gun this game. Imp is still alive. He's definitely a big deal, and Mystic cannot go toe-to-toe, and that was proven right there. This actually could be it, as Condi and xiye, the last one standing from WE. xiye just wants to kill the base. Is going to be able to get in there. Imp wants to do the work where he can. The Nexus is falling. Condi's over the top. Oh my god, Imp's going to get shredded. And can Punished deal with all the super creeps? That is the question. Nexus down to half health. 3 inhibitors down. It's one vampire against the world. As he's definitely sustaining well. Oh my god, LGD, can he do it?
He's drawing the aggro of the super creeps with his E, and he's able to tank them up because he can sustain with his Q.
He's done it.
Oh my god.
He's done it. LGD save their Nexus.
League of Legends.
Oh my god. 11 turrets to 4. WE well and truly in control, but these inhibitors are about to respawn. And if Imp plays like that again,
why would
WE
you
will just lose.
ever take LGD to 46 minutes?
Oh my goodness.
Look at the damage. 9,000
Yeah,
damage
9,000
to
damage.
champions.
That is really silly. That's often me in one game.
Okay. This now buys enough time where LGD's inhibitors have respawned, which means that they actually have a window that they can leave their base and they can contest this Baron. So Team WE need to burn this very quickly.
They are doing so. Of course, Elder Drake not available anymore, as this Baron is going to fall. Probably would have been a good idea to pick up perhaps the Baron buff and then, you know, siege the bait. But look, never mind.
We talked about this. We're like, oh, you know, Team WE, they're just better at every single avenue. Apparently, they're not better at out 5v5ing Imp.
Yeah.
This is like a 1v10.
But they're now moving up into an open Nexus, open inhibitors.
They gotta pay this guy more.
Damn right they do.
I want him on every poster. Why is MaRin in my promotional video when
Yep.
Imp is in this game?
This is silly.
Like, MaRin, don't get me wrong, you're playing well, but this guy, he's like, I couldn't do it, or I did it on the Vayne. Now I'm going to have the Sivir, I need to have the wave clear, I need to have the initiation button, I got to have the late game crits. If only this champion was AP, then I could do mixed damage.
Then it would have been cool. And he could have built a wit's end. No, let's not go there.
Calm down, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, I gotta chill, gotta chill. Condi's gonna clear out a red buff. They've got Baron buff in 3 lanes now.
Okay. The respect, the composition, the mid-game power spike of Team WE has fallen.
I would say so, 48 minutes.
Their baton is only in xiye's hands, and this guy keeps walking up into punished and getting blasted.
Condi just disappeared.
Okay.
Very confusing. Mystic able to
Nexus
get some
open.
auto attacks here. Yeah, so Nexus now available to be destroyed. It's punished. Takes a massive round of damage from xiye. Soon to be completely collected again. My God! The collateral damage was almost enough. Mystic able to take down you as MaRin's going to make his way in. Eimy in trouble. There's the Frozen Tomb on top of 957 and does so much damage to the Elise. MaRin's going to get caught. Imp battling on the backside, but LGD can't hold on for that long. And punished. What? Yeah, now he's so dead as WE are finally able to finish the game in what was an hour-long slugfest. LGD holding on for much longer than we were expecting. In game number 3, that was a bit of a series, Roscoe.
Hero of the game is going to be 957. That last team fight, he was entirely responsible of zoning out Imp. He didn't really hit anyone with his Frozen Tomb. He Frozen Tombed to separate Imp and the rest of his team. So props to that guy.
And to stop himself from dying, if I remember correctly. I'm going to give my MVP to Punished for staving off about 7 super creeps to give his team enough time to respawn and save the game. Because I honestly felt like that team fight all came down to execution and nothing else. It did not matter that WE were in control for that entire game. Came down to that one moment, and they played better.
Yes.
That is it.
That's what it comes down to with Team WE. Is
well, that's so true. We've epitomized the matchup entirely right here. And LGD, it's like it doesn't matter what they do. It's whether Imp can carry them in a team fight. And it almost happened.
What's really bizarre is I don't think you can actually go away from this and be like, oh, you know, LGD really gave it to Team WE. I think that means that they're definitely on the upswing here. They're so much stronger than we thought. Maybe they'll return to their form, because I actually just think that the stylistic matchup of Team WE versus LGD is so good for LGD. Again, like a team that consciously makes the decision, it's fine, we'll see you late. It's like, yeah, you will.
And you'll see us in laning phase for as long as possible. Imp, of course, again, just like, that sounds pretty good to me. I'm just going to blow final hour and kill you all the time.
So it just makes it really hard for me to take this series.
Yeah, what does it mean in the context of the grand scheme of things?
Exactly, because now I'm like, does LG, are they actually strong now? Like, they gave a pretty convincing front against LGD. What does it mean?
Well, we are going to have a look at today's results, as of course RNG were able to 2-0 OMG in our first Swift matchup of the day. Was a decent one as well. RNG playing phenomenally. Vladimir rearing his head one more time, as then LGD Gaming were able to take the victory over Eimy. Eimy coming back with some power plays in game number 2, but ultimately it was LGD able to close out in the end. EasyHoon playing once again phenomenally, and WE eventually get it done against LGD in what was the most ridiculous series I think I've ever cast. It was beautiful to watch, and even more exciting to see a Vladimir try to kill so many super creeps at the end of a game. And this is what is going to happen after we shake things out. Group B, 3 apiece in victories for RNG and WE, but of course RNG with another game to play. WE falling down that one time. So theoretically, RNG still ahead. And LGD and Eimy now actually tied up. But tomorrow night, LGD Gaming versus Saint is going to be our first matchup. Invictus Gaming then versus Game Talents, who are looking phenomenal. And Newbie versus Snake, which will be an interesting match. Of course, having a look at SOFM for possibly the first time here in the jungle.
Yeah, and the other really cool thing is the fact that Snake and Newbie, I mean, it's pretty much the LSPL team fighting rivalry.
Yeah.
Newbie are effectively everything that Snake should have been. Like, really good at 5v5, and Snake are good at pretty much everything that Newbie needs to be good at, which is like lane phase and macro play. So if we could just take them and put them together.
Yeah, maybe we could get in talks. Not entirely sure. No, I highly doubt that is going to happen. But Newbie coming off a loss against GT, I believe it was, and that was a bit rough. But Game Talents, they're going to be playing right before them. And this is a team that has surprised so much with intelligent play out of nowhere.
Yep. They're incredibly surprising, but we're going to go ahead and look back at this series that we just played. MVP, no surprises, it's going to Mystic.
Yeah, Mystic's Ezreal was utterly